I want to thank Bank of Uganda. I want to thank the governor for the brevity and boldness and the good work you're doing at Bank of Uganda since you took over. 2, FIA. You've talked about this mechanism proposed by the bill replaces financial intelligence model with this executive preclearance. You also said there is no gap in terms of government getting information about transactions. You also said AMRA is sufficient. You said the bill breaches confidentiality clauses and whatever I talked about. So the question is just simple. What should Parliament do with this bill?
That speaks to the reality of our economy that we are all struggling to enhance. And I want to take it that you have given us a true picture on what it is and what it shall be should we proceed with this. And I want to sincerely thank you for the dedication and the time. Mine is an appreciation. To Mr. Samuel Were, under the enactment of this bill by the executive, to me sounds like a vote of no confidence in your services as the Financial Intelligence Authority. And this could be that either you have failed on your mandate or there are inabilities in the existing law that must be improved in order to enable you to deliver your mandate effectively. Could there be any that you may cite, for example, in the Anti-Money Laundering Act, that could probably help you deliver better to the expectations of your appointing authority? I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Sibambi.
Thank you, Chair. I also want to thank the governor and the team from Financial Intelligence Agency. I just have one issue for clarification arising out of 23.3 on page 3, vicarious liability. Mr. Governor, your role or duty is to do a prudential oversight and risk management. But your observations to do with the vicarious liability of directors, you say this should be removed. You are dealing with, I don't want to call them your sons, but banks and financial institutions. Most of them are artificial entities, meaning that they're acting through a medium of human beings because they're artificial entities. They are persons but artificial. And as such, not being human entities, they act through a medium of human beings as the directing mind and will of those entities, the nerve center. Is there a possibility of taking the memorandum and articles of association in the dock in case of liability? You definitely have to take the human beings. So if they're not vicariously liable, the only option is to get the books, the resolutions, and you put them in the dock. So when you remove this, how are you going to exercise and monitor the performance of functions which are illegal by human beings on behalf of entities?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Sibambi. Honorable Sechi Toreko.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is also simple. Just to, first of all, to thank the Governor of Bank of Uganda and his highlight on the challenges or where we are focusing a danger. So, Chair, how I wish we get more time, even during the orientation of the new parliament, the Governor of Bank of Uganda to appear and given just a time to take us through some of these.
The governor always appears before the finance committee,
no,
right?
we don't wish him to appear before a committee like this.
Mm.
To just give us a package.
Okay.
Because if it would happen before, the move of this bill would have taken another position.
No.
That is what I wish.
Okay, thank you.
That is my humble
Honorable
prayer.
Secretary, that's your
Yeah.
Honorable Anna Adeke.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'd like to thank our guests, the Bank of Uganda and Financial Intelligence Authority. I saw a statement by the IMF circulating online. I wonder if the Bank of Uganda may have any information as the ones that deal directly with the IMF as to when the IMF will come. But nonetheless, thank you very much for your presentation.
Honorable Anna Adeke, IMF or World Bank?
Yeah. I meant IMF because I know the IMF has a desk in World Bank. And you know, as our chief financial, as the chief regulator, you also speak with World Bank. You're pretty much saying the same thing. You're saying the same thing that also the Uganda Bankers Association, who you regulate, said before us. Pretty much the same thing. But I just want to know, because when a general reading of the entire bill indicates that the attention is financial transactions, money getting into this country and being used allegedly for purposes that that may not appease the powers that be. Now, Financial Intelligence Authority, from my side, I think you do a really thorough job. I mean, you even block accounts with 2 million shillings. But maybe in the view of government, you're not doing a good job, because why would they want to share your mandate and create a small department that probably does not have the kind of expertise that you do? Because you're schooled in all these matters, you're up to date, you know the financial sectors or the financial sector really in and out. Why would government want to share a part of your mandate with a small department in the Ministry of Internal Affairs that may not be as schooled as you are on these matters? When you look at the concerns, the general concerns in the bill, what can government do to achieve its intention? Because they seem like they want to tighten further financial inflows. What can they do? Is there any money that comes? I know you answered this, ED. You answered this, that you actually said there is no gap in government getting access to transactions at all. However, is there any money that can come into this country without your knowledge? Be it a wallet on a phone, be it Bitcoin, is there any money that can get into the hands of Ugandans within Uganda without your knowledge? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Zijan. Members.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Thank you, Governor and the Financial Intelligence Authority for coming. Thank you for educating us in as far as this bill would affect our economy. I've taken keen interest on the effect of the bill if it became law on offshore investments, the pressure on our currency, the running down of our reserves, the effect on the balance of payments, the substantial depreciation on our currency, and the effect on Uganda in as far as global payment systems are concerned. And I think that passing this law would be the greatest gift to the enemies of this country.
You mean in its current form?
That the bill passing, our enemies would not need to do anything. Actually, our enemies need to fund this bill. They need to put effort in making us pass it in the way that it is. I think that whoever thought of it and drafted it is really the threat to our sovereignty. Thank you so much.
Okay, Honorable Fox Odoi, then I come like this. Honorable Anya, I am seeing you, but let's give a chance to all honorable colleagues to participate. Sincere. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will pick up from where Zijan left, but I have a completely different opinion. Thank you very much. I will speak to you today like a Jaluo man. I was looking at page 3 of your memorandum, paragraph numbered 1, microfinancial vulnerability and the balance of payments. You submit, just for purposes of record, that the potential to destabilize Uganda's balance of payment is a primary concern as it affects cross-border transactions. And you state that in the financial year 2024-2025, the overall balance of payment surplus of US dollars 1.5 billion was driven by financial account surplus of 4.6 billion, which included FDI 3.4 and portfolio investments of 2.1. Governor, we have been told that we are now adolescents. We have grown. We are no longer little kids. Among the law, when you develop beards, you walk to your father and tell him, my genitalia can now feel my hands. I need my own piece of land to set up camp. I need my independence. So the government of Uganda is saying that starting 2027, the month of July 2027, we shall be getting financial inflows from our first oil. And that revenue will be sufficient to allay your fears. Have you also ever heard such rumor? Have you ever had discussions with the government of Uganda? And do you have projections on how much we are going to earn from our resources in oil and gas? In which case, if it's true that we're going to get resources from oil and gas, your fears on balance of payment and destabilization of the economy do not arise. Otherwise, I thank you very much for this wonderful submission.
Thank you, Honorable Fox. Honorable Jonathan, I had picked you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank the governor and team from Bank of Uganda, and then the Financial Intelligence Authority, Mr. Were Samuel. I will start with the FIA, and my question is really short and brief. I want you to confirm to this committee if you have ever traced any amount of money that has come into Uganda and that money went into influencing, went into interference, went into threatening, went into misinforming, went into political engagements, went into recruitment as listed under the bill in 2.2. And if that money came, what actions did you take as the Financial Intelligence Authority, having traced that amount in the various parameters listed by government? I want you to tell us if that has ever happened. Now, to Bank of Uganda, you are independent in your operations. My understanding also is that you should not be influenced unduly by different pressures because of the central role you play as a as a bank. Under Section 4 of the Bank of Uganda Act, it may have changed, but one of your cardinal roles is to advise the government on monetary policies. My question is, did you get opportunity to advise government on the monetary implications of this shift regarding this bill? In other words, how have you interacted with the executive, particularly touching what you have presented to us, and how did they, if that opportunity was there, what feedback did you get from the executive? The second issue is the bill's attempts to regulate, I think, money supply, as you have stated. I think that's the core. They want to regulate. Now, this is also under the Act a sole or a core responsibility of Bank of Uganda to regulate monetary supply. So in this bill, the government is attempting to designate a department responsible for those inflows. If I am persuaded by the need for government to do that, and since Bank of Uganda is the regulator of money supply, wouldn't it have been appropriate that Bank of Uganda is the one designated to now regulate the monetary supplies in case the government was worried? Wouldn't it be rather than a minister? And I'm saying this because unlike fiscal policies, which are influenced by politics, taxations and etc., my understanding is that monetary policies are purely technical matters that should not even come under the purview of any politician. Now, a minister of internal affairs, and I have prepared a list of all the ministers, I also know their qualifications. I also know that a minister can be anyone from senior 6 or an equivalent in this country. I've also seen what it takes to become a governor of a Bank of Uganda. There is a stark contrast in terms of competencies. So would a minister of internal affairs have the capacity to, first of all, even understand the implications of some of the decisions they are going to take in this matter? And why would, if this bill is passed, wouldn't we be bringing the exclusive duty of Bank of Uganda to handle monetary policies under now the political wing, so that the politicians are now the ones deciding on that matter? The third, and perhaps the last, if this bill is passed, is actually the third one. Under Section 4, again, Bank of Uganda, you are supposed to be the agent of the government in financial transactions. Bank of Uganda is the agent. It means also now Bank of Uganda must also go and register to be the agent of the foreigners to transact on behalf of government. That's what it means, because under the law, Bank of Uganda can be an agent on financial transaction on behalf of government, and you are going to transact with foreigners. So it means also Bank of Uganda before must first also register as an agent of a foreigner. But to conclude, I want to ask you, are you ready as Bank of Uganda to make major policy shifts which will address the issues you have presented to us? Balance of payment likely to go into deficit, the reserves may be depleted, interest rates may rise, exchange rates, our currency is going to get weakened, the capital flight, all those that you have. Are you as Bank of Uganda ready that once this bill is signed, like tomorrow, you have already processed it and you are going to make major monetary policy reforms so that the economy does not collapse? Thank you.
Honorable Jonathan Odul, a good listener that I trust. I'm sure you heard what the governor proposed as amendments to this. Honorable Katuntu.
Thank you very much, Chair. From the moment the governor started his submission, I have been grappling in my mind with what's going on in this country. Do what we are doing today, Chair, is what should have been done by government. Talking to the central bank, talking to FIA, talking to Makerere universities, talking to banks, talking to literally people who should be the stakeholders. But from all of them, as they have appeared here, they seem to be so confused about who actually brought this sort of legislation here. That's the ugly position government has put us into it. Because I'll give you an example, Chair. Clause 13 of the bill, which talks about prohibition of economic sabotage. If this bill was to be passed as it is, the deputy governor would be in jail before you assumed that position of deputy governor. Professor Nwagaba, you agree with me? He would be in jail. I'm a keen observer and reader of public information, and I used to read a lot of your articles. And some of them could actually be interpreted as sabotage because they are so critical about some government policies. How on earth do you criminalize research and thinking and criticism for purposes of improvement or abandoning a policy which is not working? If the Minister Kahindo Tafire had the courtesy maybe of talking to you, Central Bank, maybe we would not be here today. You would have sorted out this sort of problem. FIA, I think you are doing a pretty bad job. Otherwise, why would we have this law if you people were doing what we mandated you to do? You remember we set you up by an act of parliament because we thought everything here which has been brought, you would be able to handle it. Is this a confession that actually you failed in your duties and therefore we are setting up a parallel system? And since the bill came up, have you two, either Bank of Uganda or FIA, talked to your line minister, say what is this going on? If you haven't, then you're not doing service to some of us. I think we should be doing other things. Let government come prepared after enough consultation. So the problem, Chair, is lack of consultation.
Prior.
Of course, prior. And the public should be extremely happy with us because we are doing what cabinet should have done or the minister should have done. Having said that, not to be critical, let us look at other jurisdictions that have had what we call over-regulation. I don't know, on this, I'm talking to the central bank. A country like Ethiopia, just look at the financial regulations they have had over years, the financial regimes they have had over years, and whether they have since then moved away from that restrictive financial regulation to a more liberal one. Reason is for purposes of attracting investment. We need to have regulations in place that makes business easy and attractive, somebody with money. But if you have too much regulation, I can tell you, no serious person with serious money will bring his money here. That you need to put in $5–10 million, then you must go to Ginger Road. There is an office there, Ginger Road, you call the Minister of Internal Affairs. And you start lining up looking for a certificate from the minister. And the Chair, he raises a very important point.
He did.
Because one, cross-border transactions now are so digital, even internal transactions. Tell me how we shall be doing this. This law envisages paper certificates. People to go to the minister's office and sit there, say, you know, I'm remitting $100, or somebody is going to send me $100. So there is a big, big problem, but as you go back, I think you need to engage your minister. You should have raised this issue in the cabinet. Other than you people coming here to the public, and now you can see the sort of conversation we are having. Like government institutions seem not to agree. And that's quite ugly. Government institutions should be agreeing. So by the time you bring a bill to us in Parliament, you should have agreed as government departments, agencies. There must have been enough consultation. Chair, I think they have
Thank
said
you.
it all.
Thank you, Honorable Katuntu. Yes, Honorable Gilbert Olanya.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to appreciate the Governor of Bank of Uganda and a risk of voluntary shocks that could destabilize the macroeconomic environment. I would like to appreciate you for that. You have summarized this bill as far as the economy of this country is concerned. The proponent of this bill, they are looking at the political aspects, not emphasizing on the economic aspect of this country. Not knowing that the political impact may be less than 5%. The economic impact may be more than 95% when this bill is passed as it is. I would like to appreciate you for lecturing some of us. You must be a very good teacher, as I am also a teacher by profession. You know, there are other people who are supposed to be lectured. My colleague stated that many of our ministers and members of parliament are senior six leavers. That is true. That's the qualification. Therefore, we cannot blame some of us, and we invite some of you to keep on lecturing us so that when we are making the law, we must come up with the law that is perfect,
Dr. Olanya,
and help the country for many years to come.
Thank you.
Finally, Mr. Chairman, the governor asked you in his submission that he doesn't know when this bill will be signed. I would like to assure you, this bill, when passed today on the floor of Parliament, by tomorrow it will be signed. Because they are targeting few individuals as far as politics is concerned. They are naive in looking at the impact on the economy. Thank you.
But Honorable Gilbert Olanya.
Thank you, Chair.
The law is passed by you yourself. Now, so who is naive? You, no. Honorable colleagues.
Mr. Chair, that should be expired.
We are mandated to monitor under the Act money which goes through, which comes in from abroad, through banks, financial institutions, and which comes into cash.
Okay.
Are you in any way close to the investigations which are ongoing or not? And lastly, to the governor, specifically clause 13, you told us that the bill, if it is passed the way it is going to cause economic sabotage. Yes, there is a clause 13 talks about economic sabotage. If this bill is passed the way it is, will it cause economic sabotage?